Salt and pepper squid is one of those dishes that seems to be on the menu of any Asian style restaurant. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make for yourself at home. Got a few tips to make sure the squid is as crispy as possible on the outside while also staying tender on the inside. This is definitely a recipe you'll keep coming back to. We're going to start off by making the chili salt seasoning. This chili salt is absolutely packed full of flavour and it's something you can keep in your pantry for ages. It goes well on just about any kind of grilled meat, and especially on anything that's been deep fried. So first off, we're going to chop 2 small red chilies and add them and a clove of garlic to a mortar and pestle. Start pounding these together until you start to get a rough paste. You then want to add about 200 grams of sea salt. Keep pounding this until the chili paste is well incorporated into the salt. If your mixture is looking too wet, then just keep adding salt to soak up the excess moisture. You want to have it looking something like this. Next we'll start preparing the squid. I'm using frozen squid tubes that I've defrosted under some running water in the sink for around 10 minutes. Open the squid tubes up with a kitchen knife so that you can lay it down on a chopping board in a nice rectangle shape. We're then going to score the squid with our knife in a sort of crosshatch pattern. This is going to tenderise the squid and help it curl up when we fry it. You want to be careful that you don't cut all the way through the squid here. Once we've scored the squid, we want to divide it into 3 even pieces lengthwise, and then start cutting each piece into small bite-sized triangles. We'll then marinate the squid pieces with some sugar, some fish sauce, sesame oil, Shaoxing wine and egg white. Mix this marinade into the squid and let it sit for around 15 minutes so the flavours have some time to develop. Once the squid is finished marinating, we want to coat it in some potato starch. I like using potato starch for salt and pepper squid as it's nice and light but also comes out super crispy when you fry it. Once we've got all the squid coated in a thin layer of potato starch, we're ready to start frying. Fill up a heavy duty fry pan with enough neutral oil to deep fry. I usually use canola or vegetable oil for this, but anything with a high smoke point should be fine. We also want to make sure the oil's nice and hot before we start frying anything. Depending on how much squid you have, it's probably a good idea to fry it in smaller batches to make sure you don't bring the temperature of the oil down too dramatically. I usually let the squid fry for around a minute or so before I start trying to separate any bits that may have stuck together, otherwise you run the risk of separating the squid from the potato starch coating. It's also really important not to overcook the squid. I usually fry it for around 2 minutes in total, which I find is enough time to get the outside nice and crispy without making the inside tough and rubbery. Once the squid is finished frying, we want to transfer it to a separate bowl and start frying the next batch. Before we fry the next batch, we want to clean up any loose bits of batter left in the oil and give it enough time to get back up to temperature. Once the oil's hot enough again, it's really the exact same process as the last batch we fried. Once we've finished frying all the squid, we want to season it with some of the chili salt we made earlier. Then we want to sprinkle on some finely chopped chilies and some green onions. And finally some white pepper. Use your hands to coat all the squid pieces with some of that seasoning, and this is now ready to serve. you want to try this at home, then I've got a link to the full recipe in the description of this video. If you want to see more videos like these, then please help us out by subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.